This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis responding to that recent ruling by the Privy Council in the case of former PLP Senator and Public Hospitals Authority Chairman Frank Smith. Mr. Davis, in a press statement yesterday, said justice has been served and says that he is pleased that the Privy Council has affirmed the decision of Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt in dismissing the government's appeal, which the Privy Council, in doing so, said there was no serious risk of a miscarriage of justice in the case. Now, while that's the case, Mr. Davis says on a political level, the Prime Minister has a decision to make, particularly when it comes to the conduct of two cabinet ministers who were judicially condemned both in the first instance of the Magistrates' Court and at the Court of Appeal. The party leader is again calling for the two ministers, Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands and National Security Minister Marvin Dames, to resign. And if they fail to, Mr. Davis says he asks for their dismissal. Too, Mr. Davis says the eyes of the public should also be on the Attorney General, whom he says allowed the case to go forward when he must have known the state of evidence. Mr. Davis contends that this gives rise to the charge of malicious prosecution. Mr. Davis further contends that the state has wasted millions of public dollars on foreign counsel and other costs which have not been handled in a transparent way, nor has there been accountability for the conduct of the state as it relates to the trials of the former senator and the former Minister of Labor Shane Gibson, which Mr. Davis says ended in abject and complete failure. In other news from courts, a 24-year-old man was arraigned in the Magistrates' Court today, charged with the murder of his father. A soft-spoken Selvin Seymour faced Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt, charged with intentionally and unlawfully causing the death of Dwight Ricardo Seymour. Earlier this week, police were alerted to a body found buried in a shallow grave in a yard in the Garden Hills area, some 50 feet away from the rear of the home. Police at the time confirmed they had a male relative in custody in relation to the matter. Young Seymour was not required to enter a plea. His attorney, Ian Cargill, requested that Seymour be remanded to the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center for a psychological evaluation. However, the Chief Justice denied that request, stating that a moratorium on the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center prevents Seymour from seeing a psychiatrist. She told counsel that as soon as it becomes practical, she will allow Seymour a psychological evaluation. One family member stood teary-eyed in the courtroom to hear the charges read against Seymour. He returns to court on May 27th at noon. Princess Margaret Hospital, PMH, is calling on the public for help as they are in urgent need of all types of blood. Public Hospitals Authority and Princess Margaret Hospital health officials are appealing for blood donations that can be made at PMH Blood Bank Monday through Saturday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Official identification is required to donate blood. PMH also advises the public that if you are ill or experiencing respiratory symptoms, you should not present to donate. In light of the COVID-19 pandemic, social distancing protocols will be followed at the blood bank. No more than 3 individuals will be facilitated at a time. Therefore, group donations are being discouraged. For more information on making blood donations or on how to prepare before donating blood, you can call PMH Blood Bank at telephone numbers 502-7822 or 322-8077. Are Bahamians still panic buying? At the onset of the 24-hour curfew on Tuesday, Bahamians flocked to grocery stores for essential items. Jcntvnews team canvassed grocery stores in the area where Bahamians waited on long lines for their turn to enter. At Quality Supermarket Cable Beach, a line wrapped around the plaza as shoppers practiced the 6 feet distancing order. Distance markers were painted on the outside of the store to indicate where shoppers could stand. The same could be seen further down at Super Value as shoppers waited to be allowed inside to shop. These shoppers, Indira Colby and Chris, says they have been abiding by the social distancing order as outlined.
I've been waiting on the line for an hour and a half now, waiting to get inside just to purchase some necessities since there's a 24-hour lockdown now.
So what are your anxieties?
Not really, because we've pretty much been on lockdown. I've pretty much been staying indoors. I am a teacher, so I've been off from school since the 16th of March. So I've been keeping to myself, social distancing, no anxieties. My family is following the same rules set out by the Prime Minister. We've been keeping to ourselves, just going out to get the necessities.
Now, as JCN News team continued to drive around Nassau, the streets were noticeably empty and few cars were seen driving along the thoroughfares.
I've been in line here at Quality Market for about a half an hour, I guess. Not feeling any anxiety yet. 24-hour lockdown hasn't really come into effect too much. We're still standing outside. But the longer people just stay at home and listen, wash their hands and stuff, the sooner we can all get back outside. That'd be kind of nice.
How's your family coping?
Not too bad, not too bad. Like I said, it's 24 hours, only been 6-8 hours yet. But by the end of the week, I'm sure we'll be climbing walls. It's going to be a spring break, 31st of March. We're all going to be running on the beach.
When we arrived at the Phoenix Supermarket South Beach, shoppers queued outside of the store waiting to be let in. However, shoppers were not practicing the social distancing order of standing 6 feet, although the distance markers were indicated. Police officers on patrol in the area stopped by to speak to the managers of the store to enforce the order. A manager then assured officers that he would place someone on the outside to ensure shoppers adhered to the order. Dr. Minnis mandated the business enact distancing markers to ensure social distancing while permitting one person into the store for every 30 square feet of store space. He added that grocery stores must also enforce special shopping times for seniors. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.